Let's just say the ratings aren't the same with Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever now eliminated. Game 1 of the Aces Liberty matchup on Sunday drew an average of 929,000 viewers. Was down nearly 50% from last Sunday's Fever Sun contest. By the way, not only was viewership down.
Following Caitlin Clark's exit from the playoffs, many WNBA players are emotional, feeling that supporters have turned on them because fans rarely stay to watch their games afterward. New semifinal numbers have been released, and the outlook isn't promising for the league. Ever since Caitlin was knocked out amid what many called questionable fouls, the WNBA has struggled to recover. Viewership has already started to drop since her elimination, and as the postseason moves forward, the situation appears.
You want me to just say I told you so, or are you willing to say, Stephen A., you did tell us? Really? Caitlin Clark is the golden.
What kind of league lets its brightest star be treated so poorly? Each year, the Fever lose their right to host a playoff game, letting the league suffer and its audience shrink after every matchup. It's the only major sport where contenders reach the finals only to see fan interest drop immediately afterward. Caitlin is now flying to Europe, supposedly for a break, but a high-paying offer from the European League
would be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the.
Who could fault Caitlin if she chose to move on? She'd earn far more than she does now and finally get the respect she deserves. The WNBA even kept her from being the unanimous Rookie of the Year. One ballot went to Angel Reese instead. That unusual.
Should have been unanimous.
Should have been. I agree.
Unanimous.
It should have been unanimous. And one of the things that sticks with me is, well, she was the first rookie to get a triple.
The WNBA is now experiencing the full force of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, yet viewer numbers continue to slip. Many players feel fans are tuning in mainly for Clark, and they're not wrong. Despite securing the MVP title, AJ Wilson was frustrated by the shrinking audience. She admitted, "This season is the first time I've heard so many people call my game boring."
Wilson, 28 years old, 1,000 points in the regular season. Why is that not the biggest story out at the moment?
Exactly.
Why are we talking about Caitlin Clark?
Exactly. Why when Asia was releasing the shoe, were we talking about Caitlin?
Caitlin Clark's absence from the WNBA playoffs has consequences that stretch well beyond television ratings. It exposes a deeper issue within the league, the fragility of its fan base, and its increasing dependence on one player to maintain its rising momentum. When the Indiana Fever fell to the Connecticut Sun and Clark's rookie campaign came to a close, the sudden plunge in viewership was dramatic. More importantly, it highlighted an unsettling truth about the WNBA. Without its most prominent star, the league finds it difficult.
For the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is, if the WNBA were continued to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did this.
After Clark was knocked out of the playoffs, ratings dropped by more than half, showing that much of the league's viewership was driven by her involvement. This reality can't be ignored or dismissed as a rare occurrence. Caitlin Clark's influence has been central to the WNBA's success in attracting spectators, and in her absence, the league has faced criticism for its inability to maintain.
Since, Angel Reese had that injury to me, and also coming off of Olympic break, Caitlin Clark separated herself. She should have been unanimous. Now to celebrate her, one thing that people forget is as a rookie, she was the most blitzed player in the WNBA, and she still put up 19, 5, and 8 assists.
The sharp decline in viewership has become a clear warning sign for the WNBA. Despite years of battling low ratings and modest attendance, Caitlin Clark's standout season briefly injected new life into the league as her matchups repeatedly attracted record-breaking audiences. For a moment, it looked as though the WNBA had finally reached a turning point. However, with Clark no longer in the playoffs, the league's surge in popularity has proven less stable than hoped. Without her presence, the excitement has noticeably dipped. Clark's loyal fan base, accustomed to following her every game, found little motivation to continue watching. Since her exit, the overall energy surrounding the postseason has waned, as the remaining teams, while still talented, do not carry the same magnetic appeal or star.
There was a Jordan effect on the NBA and the game of basketball. I would argue at one point early on there was a Steph Curry effect on the NBA and on basketball also. You bet your ass there is a Caitlin Clark effect on all of basketball, especially on women's basketball.
One of the most troubling elements of Caitlin Clark's playoff exit is the way it unfolded over the season. Although the WNBA consistently highlighted her talent, Clark endured constant fouls and overly aggressive defense that were rarely addressed. This went far beyond occasional missed calls. It became a steady pattern of harsh contact that wore her down physically and ultimately contributed.
We don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us names. I mean, we already see what's happening in the world. Something needs to be done, whether it's, them checking their fans or this league